So yeah, today's topic, well, I just realised I have a lipstick on. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here then hello, welcome. My name is Evie. Today's video, as you've probably guessed from the title, a little bit controversial. Before I get into the content of the video, a few things to note. First of all, excuse the bland backdrop. I was trying something creative earlier. Whether it works or not, we'll have to wait and see. But I thought while I had the camera out, I would sit down and make this video. It's something that I've wanted to talk about for a while, even before the events took place, if that even makes sense. Secondly, over the past couple of hours, I've started to feel really quite ill. So if my throat sounds funny or if I look really sleepy, that is why. I do have caffeine, just in case, to try and keep me awake. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm hoping it's like some sort of 24, 48 hour bug thing, but I do not have time to be ill. So if you've been following my social media for a while, in particular my Instagram or my Twitter, I'll pop all my social media links down in the description in case you do want to follow me, anything that you don't already. You may have noticed that over the past month or so, I've looked slightly different. And if you haven't been following me for a while, then obviously the title of the video gave it away. During the month of September, I got hair extensions put in and I also got Juvederm lip fillers. Before we go any further, I just want to say if you're watching this video and you disagree with lip fillers, that's not your thing, then that's absolutely fine, that's your opinion and I respect that. However, I would ask you to be respectful if responding to this video, because I don't see the point in you wasting your time watching something you don't agree with unless you want to educate yourself. I certainly don't see the point in you wasting your time typing out comments that I'm not even going to care about. I can totally appreciate that some of you may be watching this for the hair extensions and some of you may be watching for the lip fillers, so I will put a timestamp in the description as well so that you can skip to the relevant part of the video if you want to. So I will start with what should be the most noticeable difference to my appearance, and that is of course my hair extensions. I have had short hair, well, short, medium hair ever since I was about 17 years old. When I went to uni, my mum took me to the hairdresser and we got me highlights and we cut my hair nice and short for going away to uni, and I felt so grown up at the time. I absolutely loved it. I had highlights through my hair for about 7 years, and then 2011 when I moved back to Glasgow, I cut all my hair off and bleached it bright blonde, and it stayed that blonde to this day. I have experimented with different lengths over the years. If you were to go back to the start of my YouTube channel, not that you should because that content is really bad, this is a hypothetical situation here. If you were to go back and look, you would see my hair is really pretty short. It's about ear length on one side and actually went up and round my ear at one point, and then it came down to my chin on the other side. So it's kind of like an asymmetrical graduated bob, I suppose is the best way of putting it. It was shorter at the back than it was at the front. I loved having my hair like that because I was like so edgy when I was like 26. And my sister used to French braid that side back for me on nights out, and we get loads of root powder and backcombing powder, and we'd literally stick all that in this side of my hair and we just backcomb it to hell. It's a wonder I've got any hair left, honestly, but I loved it. I felt like I looked so different. It was me, my hair was me, and that's always been kind of a thing for me. My hair is like my crown and glory. But I guess as I advanced into my late 20s and subsequent early 30s, I still hate saying that, I decided that I wanted something a bit longer, something that I could do something with. I started off by evening out the bob so it came to like my chin, and then from there we've kind of grown it. So I've maybe been growing my hair for the last 18 to 24 months, shall we say. I've been loving having my hair long. Everybody I know says that they'll prefer me with longer hair. The one exception to that rule being my gran, but she's my gran and she, you know, her opinions are fine. But the one problem with my hair is that it's so fine that if it goes past my shoulders, it just starts to look a bit crap. It looks a bit like rat's tails at the bottom, like it's not very good condition, even though it is in bloody good condition. And it's really frustrating because I've always wanted this really long, healthy, thick hair. I've never ever had thick hair. So I decided to look at extensions. I looked at extensions years and years ago because I thought, wow, that'd be a really big transformation. I'd really love to do something like that. But at that point in time, your main extensions were your bonded extensions, and obviously there was so much hair damage associated with that. People were saying they had bald patches and all that sort of stuff. Like, I don't have enough hair to get a bald patch. That would not be good. That is not a good look. As things advanced, you got your nano extensions. Again, still a fair bit of hair damage, so decided against them. And then probably earlier this year, tail end of last year, earlier this year, the whole tape-in concept arrived. At least in my mind, I was a bit late to the party. If you've come to this video not knowing what hair extensions are. I'm probably not going to give you the best description of them, but I'll try. It's basically like two little wefts of hair and they're stuck together by a bit of tape, like almost glued together with tape at the top. And what you do is you separate the tapes and you take this very, very small section of hair and one goes in under your hair, so it basically sticks to your hair up near the root, and then the other one goes on top. So it's basically like sandwiched round your hair is probably the best way to describe it. One of my friends described it like that and I was like, that's probably pretty accurate. So it's basically like loads of little hair sandwiches right around your head. There's less hair damage because as it's taped in, it's less pressure on your root, it's less heavy. Although don't get me wrong, they are still quite heavy. They last longer because you can reuse them. So as your hair grows, obviously the tapes are going to drop. So what you can do is you can take them out, well, get a professional to take them out, key tip there, and then you can get them retaped back in at the top again once you've either had your roots done if you're changing colour, or you can just go back into your normal colour, whatever your hairstyle is. It's really, really good that way. So although your initial cost is higher, potentially, than getting bonded extensions, you are able to reuse them for up to a year as long as you're taking care of them. I was fascinated by this whole tape-in concept, so I watched loads of videos on YouTube. I had a look at the Beauty Works website because they are the name that everyone associates with hair extensions, especially tape-ins. Watched so many reviews, experience videos, so this is me basically putting my 2 cents in there. So I had a look and I spoke to my hairdresser about it, said, do you think I could get away with wearing extensions because I'm aware how fine my hair is? They seem to think that because my hair was longer now, I'd be a pretty good candidate for them. So we decided to go ahead. In terms of who does my hair, I have had the same stylist for about 5 or 6 years on and off now. I go to O'Hare Hair and Beauty, which is in the West End of Glasgow. The salon's been open about a year. It's coming up to the 1 year anniversary, I think. But Suzanne has done my hair in like 2 previous salons as well. She's absolutely incredible. My colour always turns out brilliant. She really listens to what I want in terms of cut, and she's able to give me advice in terms of if something's going to look good or if something's not good. Suzanne's not qualified in doing hair extensions, but Rachel, the girl who owns the salon, is. So this was like a match made in heaven. It meant Suzanne could do my colour and then Rachel could put the hair extensions in and then Suzanne could style them. Absolutely perfect. It's a genius plan. I loved it. The whole process for me took around 4.5 hours, and that's because we had to bleach my own roots, then we had to tone all of my hair, and then we put the extensions in. The extensions obviously weren't an exact match for my toned hair, so we had to then tone the extensions on top of my hair to make sure that everything blended through properly. So we dry toned the extensions once they were put in. Then we had to blow dry it, which obviously took a fair amount of time, and then we cut into them because, you know, you don't walk out a salon with just extensions as they're attached. That just look mental. The process was generally pretty easy. I mean, I'm used to having bleach and toner anyway, you know, the bleach is okay, toner hurts like a bitch. We're used to this. I've been doing this for 7 years now. That pain never really goes away, it's got to be said. But putting the extensions in took around half an hour to 45 minutes maximum. Rachel was really, really quick, but she did a really, really good job of them. The ones that I got were 20 inch, and I got just over 150 grams of them. 20 inch doesn't sound that long. Maybe it does to you. It didn't sound that long to me. Then they went in and oh my god. We had to cut them. We've cut like about 3 inches off them already, and I'm probably going to go back and get more cut off them in about a month or 6 weeks or so once the novelty's worn off. I appreciate this angle doesn't really give you much insight into what they look like, so I will stand up. They are pretty long. As you can see, this top's cropped obviously, but yeah, they're pretty much down at my waist, which is crazy. My hair has not been that long in like 15 years or something. It's mental. Obviously before I got the extensions put in, I did loads and loads of research online in terms of how to care for them, how to minimise damage, how to wash my hair. That was a big question for me. Just general tips and tricks as to how to make sure I get the most out of these extensions as I possibly can. The first thing I learned came from my cousin because she's got extensions as well. She's had them in the past, and she told me to always sleep with my hair in pleats because it'll minimise my hair getting matted and tangled whilst I sleep. And I'm a really light sleeper, so I'm all over the place during the night. So that's been a really, really good tip. Even if I just put my hair in a pony and then put in a separate bobble in the bottom, it does help, but having it in a pleat means it's so much smoother in the morning, and it means there's a wave in it, so there's less styling involved. In terms of washing my hair, I've had to change over to a sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner, which admittedly should have been using anyway, but for some reason I've just stuck with John Frieda ever since I got my hair dyed blonde. I really love the sheer blonde range, and now I can't use it because it's got sulfates in it. I was gutted. There are a fair few sulfate free shampoos and conditioners on the market. Some are considerably more expensive than others, so I've tried one from Boots just now. I'm trying it out, see how I get on with it. Not entirely sold on it, but when I find one I like, I will make a blog post about it and share it with you guys. In terms of washing your hair, obviously when it's wet it's very heavy, a lot heavier than it would be when it's dry, so it does place a bit of pressure on the tapes. So what I tend to do is gather my hair up and sort of sit it on my shoulder when it's wet. In fact, I do that during the day as well. I felt my hair was so heavy when I first got it. I was generally sitting like this all day, like a parrot or something. It was really weird. But yeah, I make sure it sits on my shoulder when it's wet, and that way it's not putting that pressure on the tapes. Especially I find the tapes right at the nape of my neck are the most, sensitive's not the right word, you know what I mean? I feel like if any of them are going to come out, it'll be those ones, just because of where they are and because they do get a lot of pressure, especially if your hair's sitting down your back. In terms of conditioning, make sure you don't condition the roots because it can affect the tapes, can affect the glue, and it can make the extensions drop or slide out, and we don't want that. We want to maximise the longevity of these bad boys. My extensions I wash once a week roughly. I wouldn't wash them any more than twice a week, and that's if they were to get really dirty for whatever reason. The top of my hair does get really greasy, and obviously the top is my natural hair. So what I've been doing, it's looked absolutely mental, is I've had one ponytail like sticking out at the top and then the rest of my hair back, and I've been like leaning forward in the shower and trying to wash it that way so that this bit's clean, because you know yourself, if your hair feels dirty, you don't feel nice at all. You just want to go in a shower and like stand, and obviously you don't want to be doing that with extensions. Before I got my extensions, I was never really one for carrying a brush around with me because most of my brushes are reasonably big and I have a lot of stuff in my handbag. Since getting my extensions, Tangle Teezer has been my new best friend. I also got a really nice rose gold one. There was so many designs in the shop, but I really went for this one. It's great for just going through your hair because obviously I get the windswept look. Living in Scotland, it's windy all the time and I don't want these to get tangled or matted. You know what it's like. So just being able to lightly go through your hair. You don't even have to go anywhere near the tapes. I'm very conscious of damaging these tapes. I'm still at that stage where I'm not quite used to them yet. One of these genuinely will save your life. In terms of cost, I mentioned that the outlay can be quite significant at the start, but then it's just upkeep in terms of getting your extensions retaped. My salon I find are very reasonable in terms of the prices, even for things like cut and colour, cut and blow dry, all that sort of stuff. I mentioned I will put all Hair's details down in the description if you want to have a look if you're based in the Glasgow area. I found when I was looking online, trying to get information on pricing for places was nothing short of a riot. I found one salon, which I've been interested in going to get my hair done for the record. I find it a really quite expensive salon and that's why I don't go. I won't name them because that would just be crap of me. Salon in Glasgow, for me, just to get my hair bleached, toned and cut, I was going to be, what was it, 125 quid a time? That's not even with extensions, that's just a cut and blow dry with like medium hair, honestly, with bleached roots and then an overall toner. It was going to be 125 quid. I was like, what? But it turned out this salon do tape-ins, so I thought I'll have a look and see how much they're going to be. Then they invite you to go in for a consultation and all that stuff, and that's great because you'd always have a consultation before getting something like extensions. I had a look on the website and all it said was tape-ins from £10 a strip. What the hell is a strip? Like one bit of hair, one weft? Because I don't even know how many of them there are in my head. Like genuinely, it would work out so expensive. So because of the costs involved, I would advise that you speak to your hairdresser, get a quote, figure out how much hair you're going to need, how much it's going to cost. My hair is not Beauty Works, it is grade 4A I believe, which is bloody good hair. Obviously it's tapes, so they're flatter against your head than bonds, which means it's easier for you to tie up. Not for me because mine are still pretty damn heavy that I can't really tie it up. Once I've got a few more inches cut off the bottom, it'll be fine and it won't be an issue. But I'm loving having longer hair. It is very different. I walked into the pub the day I got them done. Most of my friends didn't know I was getting them that day and their faces were an absolute picture, I swear to God. But yeah, if you want extensions, I would thoroughly encourage you to do it. It's something that, as long as you can afford the upkeep, that's the main caveat. If you can't afford to keep getting them redone, then it's not worth getting them, because I really love them, and the thought of like taking them out now and having to go back to my normal hair, I'd kind of be like, but yeah, definitely do your research and enjoy your long, luscious locks. Okay, on to the next part of the video, which is of course my lips. To be fair, most of you watching this, if I hadn't told you that I'd had them done, you wouldn't know, because they are very subtle and they are very natural, and that was exactly what I wanted. I'm not going to sit here and say to you that I was unhappy with my appearance, because I wasn't. Ultimately, I'm not a massive fan of my mouth in general, just because I feel like when I smile, I look a bit daft. I feel like I don't have a top lip. Has it ever caused me any psychological trauma? No. That being said, I have considered getting lip fillers for a couple of years now. A lot of people seem to think that this is an impulse decision. Just because I don't speak with someone about it doesn't mean that I did it off the top of my head. It was the same with the extensions. I wanted extensions for a couple of years before actually getting them done. I guess I saw lip fillers as a genuine possibility probably around about the start of 2018. I think, in all honesty, turning 30, and I'm not going to preach about age here, but turning 30, it made me feel like, do you know what? Life's too short. See if you want something and you can do it. Just bloody do it. And that must sound so condescending to those of you that are watching this that are younger than me. And if you've got that attitude now, I really genuinely wish I had it when I was your age. I just feel as though, do you know what? I'm not harming anyone. I'm not offending anyone. It's relatively low risk. I'm going to get it done properly. Why the hell not? I mentioned earlier that I did a lot of research online when it came to hair extensions. I must have at least double, triple, quadrupled it when it came to the fillers. I was looking up everything to do with them. I know that the most popular one, market leader, is Juvederm, which is made up of a hyaluronic acid, which is actually a natural substance in your body, which is why it breaks down over time. It's not seen as this sort of weird or wonderful thing that's in your body like Botox. So, because it was a natural substance, I felt a little bit better about it. I must have looked at so many procedure videos, so many before and after videos, but at the end of the day, every person's different, so there's no guarantee of what your lips are going to look like. When I started seriously considering getting my lips done, I was adamant that I wanted to go to a clinic rather than a beautician. I feel like everyone and their mother is qualified in giving lip filler injections now, and I just feel that there's more reassurance if you're in a clinic where there is a cosmetic surgeon and various cosmetic nurses, etc. It's a more professional environment in my opinion, and I'm not bashing anyone that is going to get their lips done by a beautician. You do find that you get some cosmetic nurses are working out of beauty salons. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that as long as they're fully qualified. I just felt like having it done in a clinic setting made it more professional and it made it seem more safe to me, even though it's still a risky procedure. The clinic that I went to was La Belle Forme. They have a few clinics dotted over the UK. They've got 2 in Glasgow. I think there's one in Sevenoaks down in Kent as well. The one I went to is right in Glasgow city centre, so really easy to get to. And the person that did my lips was Laura Miller. She is a qualified cosmetic nurse and she's been doing lip injections now for about 16 years. I genuinely think I was more nervous about phoning up to book my consultation than I was going for the actual bloody procedure. I phoned up the clinic and I just said to them I wanted to book a consultation only. You have the option to either book just your consultation or consultation and procedure at the same time. I think a lot of people, once they've had it done, would do consultation and procedure, but I didn't want to pressure myself and make myself get the injections done while I was still processing everything in my head, because this was completely uncharted territory for me. I remember walking along to the place being absolutely terrified of what I was letting myself in for, but honestly, Laura could not have been nicer. During the consultation, we just went through any allergies that I have, which is none thankfully, any medications that I'm on, whether I get cold sores, things like that, whether I smoke, which again, don't, thank God. So I was a prime candidate for lip fillers. Laura made a comment and she actually explained what I've been trying to say about my lips for years in one sentence, and I was like, you're good. What she said was that my bottom lip is pretty much perfect. She goes, you got a perfect bottom lip. Top lip, she said, it's not that you don't have one, it's that it sits very flat and so you can't really see a lot of the pink flesh, if that makes sense. And I was like, that's it, that's actually it. So the way that Laura does her fillers, she goes round the vermilion border, which is the little border right round the outside of your lips, and that lifts the lips. It separates them slightly, so they go up by up to 1 millimetre. So it meant it turned my top lip up slightly and my bottom lip down. It also creates a ridge, which is great for lining your lips, oh my god. What we then do is, if there's any filler left, then it can go into the body of the lips. This might sound quite painful as well. Should point out, you are numbed up. We use a numbing cream, it's got lidocaine in it, which I believe is the same agent that is used in a dental block, except it's just done as a little numbing cream. Honestly, it was fine. We did discuss amounts of filler briefly. She asked me what I was thinking, and in all honesty, I said to her, I'm not entirely sure. I've seen a lot of things where people are saying start off with 0.5 ml, which is absolutely fine. Other people were saying there's not a lot of difference with 0.5 ml, and they end up going back for another 0.5 ml shortly after. And she agreed with the latter option. She said a lot of people, 0.5 ml really doesn't do much. It'll give you that definition, but you won't get any more additional fullness to your lips. And so we decided to go for the 1 ml. But what I really liked about the clinic and the appointment was that there was absolutely no pressure to book at that point in time. Laura just said, thanks a lot for coming, here's a number, if you get any other questions please give me a phone. And I was sold. I was genuinely sold. The fact that there was no sales pitch made me want them even more. If that makes it must be some sort of reverse marketing, but it bloody worked. The procedure itself was pretty much non-event, to be honest. Like, we went in, Laura put the numbing cream on my lips. Whilst that was kicking in, we went back through the consultation just to make sure I had nothing had changed since I'd been in, which was absolutely fine. She then explained again how she would do it. What she said was that she would do 1 injection, give me the mirror, show me what it looks like, and then we carry on, do another one, show me, and just so we can make sure that I'm happy with it, we can stop at any point. She was really reassuring. In terms of pain, I genuinely didn't think it was that painful. I would liken the familiar border to a nip, like a nose piercing. Like that initial sting, and then there was a little bit of pressure when the filler went in, then that was it. I think I've been saying to everyone I've had 10 injections. I think it was 11 that we did, because we did 2 in the border that side, 2 that side, 3 in the bottom, so that's 7. And then I think I had 2 injections in my bottom lip and 2 in the top. We had slightly more on the top on this side because of a slight asymmetry, which has worked out brilliantly. Should also say, in terms of after effects, you will swell, which goes, everybody swells, it's natural, don't panic about it, it'll go down in like 36 hours or so, and give her due, it did. She said that some people bruise, some people don't. She can usually tell who's going to bruise by how much you bleed. I hardly bled at all during mine. I didn't have a mark on me. In all honesty, there was not a single bruise, which I was amazed. There was obviously little almost like bee stings where the needles had gone in, but that was absolutely fine. I was expecting that. Obviously I was slightly numb for a considerable period after that. I had my lips done at 10 in the morning. I was out there by like 20 to 11 after taking 50 million selfies in the place. I went shopping for a little bit and then came home. Obviously I was slightly wary of moving my lips because you've just had injections in your lips, but I felt by the time it got to like maybe 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, it wasn't my lips that were sore, it was my bottom teeth. If that makes any sense. It was almost as though the lip had swollen that much, it was pressing on my teeth, something like that. It was really strange, but I just had the worst toothache, so I had to take ibuprofen. No, not ibuprofen, they don't take ibuprofen. Ibuprofen can increase swelling. I took paracetamol, which I really hated taking because paracetamol does nothing for me anyway. Thankfully it took the edge off. That was the one time I had to take any medication for. After that I was completely fine. Laura did say that some people get little lumps in their lips just as the filler is starting to find its place and settle. It's completely common. Some clinicians will tell you to massage the lumps to try and help disperse it. Laura said that she doesn't personally find it makes any difference, so not to bother. But if the lumps were still there after a week, she wanted me on the phone to her to come back in and have a look. I did at one point feel like I was going to have to call her. I felt as though there was a lump where we put the most filler in the body of my lip. I think it's actually just the filler itself. It's not actually a lump, and it's not noticeable now anyway. It's all calmed down. Honestly, it was relatively pain-free. Not painless. Nothing like this is ever going to be painless, but I absolutely love them. Like I said, it's really subtle. I got 1 ml of Juvederm. I will probably go back and get a little bit more. In all honesty, I said that before I got them done anyway. I'll probably get maybe another half or another 1, and that'll be me. The main thing that I really like is if I turn to the side, I now have a top lip. Like, it actually turns up the way that other people's lips do, if that makes any sense. They don't look unnatural at all. Lipstick is now a dream. I love wearing lipstick now. I mean, I always loved lipstick, but there's wearing lipstick but you don't really have lips, and wearing lipstick when you've got lips is a completely different ball game. A lot of the time if I'm in the house or whatever, I don't wear a lot of lip products, although I am trying to wear a lip balm as much as I can just to try and stop them from chapping, because, you know, we're getting into those autumn months and that's when my lips dry out with heating and aircon and all the rest of it. So I'm trying to wear a lip balm, but other than that, if you're not wearing like a big lipstick or you're not lining your lips, you genuinely wouldn't think I'd had mine done. In terms of longevity, fillers are expected to last for 9 to 12 months for a non-smoker, or if you smoke it's about 6 to 9 months because of all the pursing your lips, etc. So probably find I'll have a fresh set of lips and a fresh set of extensions around about the same time in about a year's time. In terms of tips and tricks that I can give on lip fillers, there's not really that much to tell anyone. obviously do your research, you know, like triple underline that one. You must know what you're getting done, know the ins and outs of it. You need to know the risks involved as well, because these things can go wrong. Honestly though, just make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Again, make sure you can afford the upkeep, because once you get them done, you're not going to want to let them go, if that makes sense. If you are unhappy with them, you can get them dissolved. Just get in contact with the clinician who did them for you and they can get that sorted. Make sure you've got some paracetamol in the house in case you experience a little bit of pain afterwards like I did. As I said, it was nothing excruciating. I think it was more of an ache rather than a pain. Bear in mind that you will swell and you may bruise, so if you've never had them done before, just make sure that you don't have anything planned for the next, say, 24 hours after you get them done, just in case you swell really bad. People swell at different rates, just like they bruise in different ways. And the final point, make sure you take loads of photos because you're gonna bloody love them. I guess that brings me to the end of my experience video in terms of getting both my extensions and my lip fillers. If anyone has got any questions on either topic, leave me a comment below and I will do my best to get back to you. I may not know the technical term, I may not know the answer, but I will reply, even if it's to say that I don't have a bloody clue, and try and point you in the right direction. Hope you've enjoyed this video, hope you found it informative. If you did, please give it a like, please subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I do various random hauls, chatty videos, diabetes videos, etc. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys very soon. Bye guys!